Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to today's new features webinar. Today, we'll be showcasing you all the new and exciting features that we released this past month. My name is Gio, and I'm a customer experience advocate here at monday.com. And just wait a minute or two till we have a couple more people joining, and then we'll get started with some introductions and go over what we're going to talk about today. So feel free to share in the chat where you guys are joining from, what industries that you're coming from. We would love to learn a little bit more about who we have working with us today. Awesome. Kansas, England. Nice. Chicago. I'm in Chicago too. Cool. Awesome. All righty. All right, welcome everyone. Again, my name is Gio and I'm a customer experience advocate here at monday.com. And I'd also like to introduce my amazing colleagues who will be answering your questions in the chat, Sarah, Amelia, and Emily. All right. Awesome, awesome, sweet. We have everyone from a little bit all around the world. All righty, let's get going. All right, so you should be able to see my screen and hear me, but if that's not the case at any point during the presentation, please let us know by writing in the chat box. Throughout the demo, be sure to add your questions in the dedicated Q&A box at the bottom of the screen instead of the general chat. This way, we'll be able to get to all of your questions as best as we can. So today's session will be made up of two parts. First, we'll take a look at our new features in action in a special context. And then next, we'll move into a live Q&A to answer your questions. Again, we'll try to get to as many questions as we can. That said, there's a lot of us here today, so if we don't get to your specific question, feel free to reach out to our support articles and our community page as someone else most likely already asked your question there. If not, you can reach out to us at support@monday.com 24/7. Finally, you'll be emailed a recording of today's session within 3 business days, if not sooner. But you can also find the recording on our webinars page at monday.com/webinar. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at today's agenda. So we're going to have an intro to our use case that we'll be explaining all the features and context for, some updates for our forms, workdocs editions, the updated Teams page, new guest user permissions, a formula column edition, a featured marketplace app, and last but not least, the beloved Q&A. All right, again, everyone can hear and see my screen? Awesome, awesome. All righty, perfect. Let's get started. As we begin today, I do want to note that all the features that we're going to be going through have a wide variety of applications. For this session, we've decided to use the example of an ad agency and its operations. But I do know we have many super interesting industries with us, so don't worry if this isn't the same exact use case as your organization. As I show the features in this context, you can keep them in mind on how they can apply to your own workflows. All righty, let's take a look at what I have pulled up here. This board is actually our creative requests board from one of our many super customizable and ready to use templates. You can find the original template of this and many more at our template center. To access this, navigate to the plus add button and choose from templates right here. This provides a nice foundation to get started and to see what other organizations have found to be successful on monday.com. If you're looking for a quick way to get started, go and check out what's available in our template center. Again, all of the features that we'll be showing today can be used with any workflow. But to walk you briefly through my board here, each item essentially represents a single request submitted to the creative team. This template is made up of fully customizable views that we'll be showcasing today as we run through our new features. We have the main table, as you can see here, the form to collect requests, and lastly, some results to get some visual information about the data that we have coming in. Thinking through the life cycle of a creative request, we'll be going through the different stages and highlighting features as we go along. Now that we went through the board's elements, such as the items, the different views, let's dive into some of the new features that we're all waiting to hear. So in an ad agency setting, we'll be receiving requests for work from colleagues using one of the most popular views, the forms. For those who haven't come across forms, this is a great way to have data automatically populate your board from outside your monday.com account. You can transfer any board into a form, and every column will automatically become a question. You can make questions required, hide them, reorder them, and much more. If you're looking to fully customize your forms, our new features this month include font customization as well as color. Previously, forms were only a certain font, as you see here, but now this has changed. Does your team have client-facing forms that you want to align with your brand's design? Or have you simply wanted different colors to emphasize internal procedures? Well, you spoke and we listen. Let's go ahead and customize the font and color of the form. Anyone have any font color suggestions that we could use to customize this form? All right, I think I saw blue is the first one, so let's go ahead and do it. So as you can see here, we have the edit form button right in the top left-hand corner. This becomes available to you when you sign up for our newest product, work forms. Let's go in and select edit form. And so you can see here, this is how the form typically looks when editing it previously. But if you go into the T right here, this is how we can select the different fonts and the different color. So I believe we said blue. So here you can see we changed the color of the form, the font for the questions with blue. Additionally, we can go to the font and change the different font options that we have here. Let's do Poppins. All right. So as you can see, this is a great way to further your organization's branding and make your form stand out a bit more. Additionally, we've also included nested conditions in the questions we can ask, so our form can provide even more insight about different requests that come in. I will note at this time, nested conditions is a feature that is available only on our enterprise plan, so I'll keep this brief. With our new form builder, you can easily add in these nested conditions by selecting the add condition button when you click into a question right here. For our use case of an ad agency, depending on this request type, we can add in conditions that will further assist the creative team. Check it out. So let's say that a request comes in for, let's say, a social media post. So we'll go into the include condition and select one of the options that we have for this question. So we said social media, and then let's add a new question. So thinking about it in the context of this example, let's add in a question such as multi-select to specify what kind of social media platform this is going to be on. So let's say either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then change the name of the question right here. Awesome. So once the user or someone from your team selects any of the options, specifically the social media option, they will then see this question right here. And this can be done for any of the options that you have selected here. Alrighty. So next up is one of the newer platform features that I think is a great tool for collaboration with other teams on a live document. This is our workdocs. So we'll go back to the main table right here and pull up one of the ways you can access your workdocs. As some of you know, you can add a workdoc by going to the plus add button and select new doc. But for the case of this use case, you can also add in workdocs by going to the files column right here. Released in the last few months, workdocs are a collaborative document that can be used for note-taking, brainstorming, imaging, and much more. You can also create them as standalone documents, just like I had mentioned in the files column right here. One of the main things which sets workdocs apart from other document tools is the ability to embed building blocks from your account inside of them. So you can include board views, dashboards, and much more. This gives another level of context to your team collaboration. And most importantly, the data inside the blocks from your boards will always be live and up to date. Pretty neat, huh? So let's take a look at this. As we've recently rolled them out, we've had several amazing additions to the tool. And this month, I'm excited to share some of our most recent updates that you can see here right in this doc. This month, we added a table of contents that you can see on this left-hand side. Additionally, we've also added the ability to have indentation. So here's how, let's go back and from the start and how we can add a work doc, just so you know how to add it from the files column. So you can go add in a files column to your board, select add and manage files, and then here you can select doc. Additionally, once you select the new doc, you can have a new doc or have it be one of their doc templates that are saved to your account. This can be done prior so that you could have the same doc for some of your files within this column. So as you had noticed from when I had pulled the doc up just a second ago, I went ahead and created a document to use as a template for each request confirmation. As you can see here, that table of contents features allows you to easily view what's inside this document at a glance and to skip to it if there's a lot of text, depending on what you have in your doc. Additionally, we've also added indentation, as I had mentioned, so you can have another layer of visual hierarchy. So once this document is completed, we can then go ahead and export it as a PDF, which is one of our newest features. So you can either do that within the document right here, or let's say if we have another work doc as a standalone document, which we'll add right here. And you can go to the three dots in the top right-hand corner. Export to PDF. So this was a highly requested feature and helps your docs make them even more useful and shareable with people outside and inside of your organization. All right, let's go back to our board. All right, now that one of our requests has been reviewed by our ad agency team and sent back to the client for confirmation, we're going to begin work on these requests internally. So as many of you know, you can't get anything done without a great team. On monday.com, you can easily group your organization's members into teams by going into the teams page under your profile picture, teams, and you can see our new and updated teams page. For this project, this is great for mentioning specific teams, such as graphic designers, for example, and send a group one message. Additionally, you can assign tasks to a team rather than an individual and add them to automations and much more. This month, because we all know the value of having a defined and well-oiled team, we're excited to show off this new and enhanced and easy-to-use UI design. While this still has much of the same functionality as this previous Teams page, we've added two new features that I think you'll love. Going back to the use case of our ad agency, most of us wear many hats in our organizations. As I mentioned earlier, some of us are designers, as you can see the different teams, some of us are copywriters, and some of us are the managers of these teams. Instead of seeing all the teams that belong to your account, you can now have the option to filter. You can filter by just selecting the teams that you're a part of. So because this is my account and I said I wear many hats, I have all of the teams that I'm a part of right here. This allows you to see what teams that you're a part of rather than all the teams on your account. Another new feature that we added to this enhanced Teams page is the ability to add pending users to your account. For the sake of our example today, we're going to be outsourcing some design elements to a user who's not already part of our monday.com account. I went ahead and invited them to the account already prior to this. So I added this user as a guest in the board members section of my creative requests board. And I'll show you how I did that one more time. So you can notice that we can add external guests to our account because this is a shareable board as noted by these three dots right here. To add members to a board, specifically guests, you can go to the top right-hand corner in these three dots, select board members, and see the ability to add in guests. So you can see I had already added these users and they have some pending invitations. Before, you couldn't add people to a team until they accept the invite to your account. Now, this is changed. Now you can add pending users, as I mentioned, that have been added to your boards who haven't accepted their invite to a team from our updated Teams page. For new members added to our ad agency's account, they will be able to get to work on their team's assigned creative requests, be included on task assignments, or have communication for their team in the inbox from the moment they log on and accept their invite. So let's show you how to add in a pending user. So after creating any of the teams, and we can do this from scratch right now, let's think of a new team name. I think we said graphic designers. Select create, and then add team members. So you can see that this email was one of our pending invites, and add them to the team. And you can see that they're still pending by this little box right here. So the moment that this user with this email logs right on to their monday.com account, they're already a part of the graphic designers team and can be added to the board and the people column, as well as the different automations that we have on our board here. All right, now that we have our guest invited to the account so they can collaborate on this board, I wanted to share another new feature that has been highly requested. So until recently, when guests were added to a board, they could see the full list of board subscribers by clicking on the invite button and the board members button right here. So this wasn't ideal for some accounts where multiple freelancers or multiple clients were invited as guests within the same board. Reason being, they didn't want to see who else was working on this board and communicating with each other within this menu right here. So we heard your feedback about this, and our team got to work on further enhancing guest permissions. With this addition to guest capabilities, guests can no longer see the invite and last seen buttons that you see within this board, as well as in the board activity section right here. So just to clarify one more time, our guests, depending on if they're added to your people column, won't be able to see the other guests and board members on this board for security reasons, and they won't be able to see the board activity. So it's a little bit more private since they're going to be external to your organization. So putting this into the context for our use case, now our outsourced guest members will only see the board content that you see here, and board members and activity won't be seen. With this being said, I did just want to clarify one more time that guests can still see all the board subscribers when they are assigned to an item in the people column. So if you want your guests to only see the content of the board, as you can see here, make sure to not assign your guest in the people column. And let us know if you have any further questions about that in the Q&A box, and we would love to further explain that if need be. All right, how's everyone doing? All right, well, thanks for holding on so far. We have one last new and very exciting feature to showcase, along with one from our apps marketplace, and then we're going on to Q&A. So grab another sip of coffee, tea, and get ready. This one is big. So as many of you know, the formula column is one of the most useful columns we offer. It can calculate metrics and a whole variety of use cases such as averages and so much more. Like all we do at monday.com, we heard your feedback and requests to further enhance this column's functionality. That's why this month, I'm excited to share that the location column is now supported in the formula column. So how does this work? Well, let's put it into context. Say we have a project that comes into our creative requests board, as you can see here, and we need to parse out certain information from a submitted address in this location column here, such as the city. So to do this, we added in a formula right here. So like many of you, this looks like code, and code sometimes gets a little confusing at times. It does for me. So the exciting thing about this is once you add in the new formula column, or the formula column, as well as having a location column on your board, you can automatically select which information that you would want to have pulled from the location column. So you can select that right here and see all this information that you could have pulled out from the submitted address in the location column. So right here, I selected city, so you can see the city that was submitted from the location column right here. So let's say that we wanted either the street number, the country. Just by selecting it, it will automatically update the code in the formula, so you don't have to do it for you. But I know that my explanation could be better illustrated with an example, so I'm just going to add in the formula column from scratch right here. So we'll just go to the plus add button, formula. We're going to select that location column, and it opens up this drop down with all of the elements that you can extract from the submitted locations, the submitted addresses, and we'll add in this time the country. And so you can see it automatically wrote the formula for you, and we're going to select set formula. So you can see here, because these addresses had United States within their submitted address, the formula column already extracted that. Awesome. So again, once a user fills out our request form and puts in their full address, we can then take out certain information which can be used for a wide variety of contexts. Now our board has all the information we need to move on with this request. All right, we did it. That does it for all of our new features this month, but we're not done just yet. Last but not least, we wanted to showcase an excellent marketplace app that I think everyone can benefit from. For those of you who didn't know, the Monday Marketplace offers hundreds of apps, which allows you to expand the capabilities of your work OS with the Monday platform. This means you can power your workflows with custom views, widgets, integrations, automations, and more. To access this, you can go to the three dots right here and select Apps Marketplace, or in the bottom left-hand corner with the apps button right here. So as I mentioned, we have hundreds of apps depending on your industry, your use case, and what you're trying to use the monday.com platform for. So the app that we're showcasing this month is OP.Sign. This is a digital e-signature app produced by Pangolin Labs. This app allows you to auto-generate documents and send them for e-signatures in one click with the vanilla e-signature board from OP.Sign. OP.Sign captures the signatures and delivers them in a signed document to the monday.com board while sending the signers a copy of their submitted form. So you can see I already added it to this workspace right here, and here's how this app works. So this board, as you can see, was already populated when you installed it to your account, so you don't have to go in and create all of this. So in the context of our use case, when we need a client to sign a document, you can easily send the document to them and receive the signed version back with this awesome app. So to activate it, we're going to go to the apps marketplace right here. We're going to search OP.Sign, and you can see it pulls it right up here. And then since I already have it in my account, it says use app, but you'll just have to sign in and then add it to the account. And as I had mentioned, this creates a new board that serves as the app itself, and that's how the app essentially exists within your account. For more questions with this app specifically, feel free to reach out to the developer, which you can find by going to apps right here again, searching OP.Sign, the 3 dots, and then contact the developer. This, as I had mentioned, for further questions on this, we recommend contacting the developer, as this was created by third-party organizations. This means that support and pricing is handled by their team. Also, let me just remind you that all marketplace apps can only be installed by the account admin. All right, so this completes the first part of our session today, and we'll be moving on into the Q&A just shortly. So I'm going to grab a sip of water, so be sure to put all those last minute questions in the Q&A box, and we'll get to as many as we can in just a moment. But before we move on, I wanted to show you the main places you can find your questions. You can find answers to your questions. Within this section, as you know, we have our knowledge base at support.monday.com. You can email us at support, as I had mentioned, which is available 24/7. Additionally, we have our community forum and our webinars hub. Additionally, we have our help center, which is in the bottom left-hand corner right here. And this has access to our webinars, which I'm sure you found how you got to this one today, those tutorial videos, the community, and so much more. Alrighty. So just one more reminder to put your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get going in just a second.